I want to explain that there's only 5 things you need to build muscle. Once you get those 5 things right, you're good. First question, Vegeta, is that you? Yes, indeed it is. I'm actually training at 450 times of gravity right now, trying to catch up to Kakarot. And I just want to get this out of the way. Bro, I can't even read this. How old are you, bro? And how much you weigh? I'm 18. I should actually weigh myself right now. Yeah, right now I'm 81 kilos. I weigh anywhere around, I'll say like 79 and 83 kilograms. So that's in pounds, that is around 175 and 180 pounds or so. Now, next question, he's basically asking how to bulk up and stay cut, right? So how to keep your body fat low while increasing muscle. The key is not to increase your body fat. Fat cells don't disappear. So we basically all have a certain amount of fat cells, right? When you lose fat, the cells just become smaller. They don't disappear, they just become smaller, right? When you gain fat, you get new cells and you can never burn those new cells off. Which is why if someone's been very, very fat and they then lose the weight, it's easier for them to get fat again. Which is also the same thing with muscle memory. When you build muscle and you stop training, your muscle doesn't disappear, it just shrinks, the cells shrink. So it's easy to pump up the cells again. So if you're at, for example, 15% body fat, and you maintain the fat cells that you have, you will continue to be cut and keep on building muscle. And you do not need to bulk to build muscle. You don't. There's only 5 things you need to build muscle. Protein, recovery, energy, water, and a stimulus, which is training. You don't need bulking, trust me. If you need the excess calories, take it from your body fat. So yeah, you don't need to bulk. Now, next question is, how can I get my legs bigger? Just make sure that you're training your legs. It's really that simple, but don't train them once a week. Sometimes the reason people's like, people getting bigger shoulders, bigger chest and everything, but the legs are lagging is because a bro split tends to be, you train everything 5 days a week and then legs once, and then you have a rest day. Even when it's push-pull, it tends to be push-pull legs, push-pull rest, and then rest again, rather than legs twice a week. So I would train my legs twice, 2 to 3 times a week, and you'll stimulate it enough. And there's a variety of things that you can do. Personally, my legs are quite developed. I'm not going to show them because I'm not trying to be that type of guy, in some short shorts. That's not me. And my legs became very developed through sprinting and doing plyometrics. Now I'm going to be honest, doing squats, doing lunges, all of that is good. But my legs became very strong through doing plyometrics. So yeah, I started doing one-legged squat jumps, and just jumps and sprints, and that really developed my legs. So I wouldn't say like necessarily you need to do certain exercises to develop your legs. If you want to grow your calves specifically, I'm not the guy to ask. I'm more about the purpose of your training, So for me, when it comes to legs, I'm more about jumping high, being explosive, running fast. So calves are never really in the mix, So the calves get worked because you're training, but I'm not like, I want big calves, I want big this, I want big that. One thing I do want to say though is training, as far as training your hamstrings, train your glutes with your hamstrings. Like train your glutes. Glutes tend to be undertrained, and that can lead to a lot of hamstring injuries. So if I were you, I wouldn't be doing no leg curls. It's just a tip. You don't need it if you just do what you want to do. Now for this question, bro, did you build your traps calisthenics? I want to be honest. I personally don't feel like my traps are well developed. That's just me. But if they are developed, then I would say it's majority calisthenics. I do obviously do, I have done shrugs. I don't do them because I hate using light weights and doing a lot of reps. I don't like doing that. So I haven't done shrugs in ages, like at least 2 months. But so whatever's there, I'd say, yeah, probably from calisthenics. The only pulling movements I do are pull-ups and chin-ups and various different forms of pull-ups, I guess. But yeah, so I did build my traps with calisthenics, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. Now for the next question, he's saying, I appreciate what he's saying, he's saying, he's asking about my diet, how much genetics played a part in helping me. I've already done a video on genetics. And then could anyone do this in the same time frame, or is it dependent on the genetics of the individual? As for my diet, I'm going to do a video explaining this, but just for now, just to give a brief overview, I do eat good. I do eat clean-ish food, right? So I like to be a little bit lenient with myself. I don't count macros. I do count protein just to make sure I get around about the right amount of protein, like I estimate, but I do not count my fats, my carbs. There's no point. It's calories in versus calories out. As for could anybody do this in the same time frame? I want to explain that this will probably take you 3 years, right? That's depending on your genetics. Now, what I mean by that is endomorph, mesomorph, and ectomorph. So if you're an endomorph or a mesomorph, you'll probably be able to build this amount of muscle in 2 years, right? 20 pounds in 2 years. I mean, if you're like a genetic freak, you might be able to do it in 1 year, but it's, typically it'll be 2 years or more. If you're an ectomorph or a woman, you'd probably 20 pounds will take you 3 to 4 years. I'm gonna be completely honest. You might be able to build it quicker, but roughly 3 to 4 years. Could take you more, could take you less. You never know. One thing I want to explain is I've always been athletic. I've always been strong. I've had a decent amount of muscle to my frame. Some of my muscle growth actually came from muscle memory. So in case you didn't know this already, I've been training since I was 9 years old. So I actually have developed a pretty decent physique over the years. And then I detrained and then I retrained. So I would say around 4 kilos or 8 pounds was muscle memory. So I would say I actually gained off new muscle was around 12 pounds, right? Which is accurate. That's something that I can say is you can do in 1 year. You can build 12 pounds of muscle in 1 year. 20 pounds, not. But yeah, and also the time frame can be impacted on how often you train. So if one person's training the body parts twice a week and getting enough recovery for that amount of training, and there's someone else who's hitting the body parts 4 times a week, but still managing to get the right amount of recovery, then obviously the person training 4 times a week will get it much faster than the person training twice a week. But yeah.